A dive into silence and the depths is the time when the hands of a clock stand still. The Adriatic Sea, the blue which prides itself and guards itself with its hue. A space which speaks through its unhearing and grudgingly reveals itself to the curious eye. To fathom and to understand is a priceless gain in itself. To sail and to abandon oneself to the currents, to draw breath with the same pair of lungs, to embrace the given with humility and gratitude, but, given the slightest chance, repay it with the generosity of an heir to the throne. Now that's a choice and attainment only for the chosen ones. Ships are like people. They are born, they have their lives and their passions. Their holds and their decks bear the scars of tempests, both theirs and ours. Seeking the calm seas, but not shying away from storms, they show their pride, their unshakable way of looking at life, their unbreakable bond with the sea. Ships die too. They die on the sea, under the sea. They die in fire. Ashes left by ships are the pledges of a new birth and of remembering, for today and for the days yet to come, until new storms and new fires. The weather forecast for the Adriatic for the next 24 hours. Calm with a southwesterly and westerly wind. On the open sea of the south. Nowhere is there so much joy as there is in the coves of childhood. And it is in the sea that washes against the isle, which sailed through history without drawing a sword, tuned to the thunder from behind Mount Biokovo, that fishermen's roots give birth to life. In these climes of island stonework frames, on this sea and these ships' planks worn out by the mariners' rough shoes, the truth is woven out of shimmers and salt. Anxiety never written down in books, love and sorrow revealed only through a gaze, they all stay here. These are the ways known to a father, bequeathed to a son. Forward with the bow, and back with the stern. The route is the same length. It is just as cramped outside as it is inside. Sailing is like breathing. This sea offers hope with the ease of a wheat sower. And we, sailors and fishermen, uncrowned bearers of the earth's crown, captives in the middle. On the one side, claws of the ever-hungry machines. On the other, the ever-restless sea that shields itself from us, but is never victorious in defending its vulnerable and ready-to-retreat bosom. Night of full darkness, time drips at the slowest of rates. The calm offers hope, the southerly bans sleep. It is never good night, but always good morning. In the still of dawn, it seems that the games of fortune are not for the diggers and bearers of silver, for fathers and brothers. Long since, a good century ago, they bound and tamed the fear of the sea and the sadness of empty nets, which is why each and every catch, even the most modest that offers no feast, is a source of joy in the silence of the morning, and of strength that will take them to each and every nook and cranny of the eastern shores of the Adriatic. It is always like this, and it would appear it can be no other way. There is no fisherman, no man of Postira, who will not swear that a ship with a laden deck sails faster, and reaches port faster. A full breast carries more strength than a billowing sail. Creating joy is surely the greatest of the skills of life. And the old mole, which never gave in to either the southerly or the passing years, just like the new ones multiplying everywhere, spurred on by the know-how of technology and new times, all bear witness to all the truths of fishermen's lives. Well remembered are the crates of plenty before and now. Remembered is the sardine, which, like a true sorceress, banished the empty plate and misery from the lives of the locals and the folk of the entire Dalmatian littoral and its islands. It was the sardine which clothed and shod them, the sardine which ensured savings for medicine and books, the sardine which made father's face gentler and mother's lap warmer and softer. Sardine the saviour, more than once, and not just since yesterday. history lesson heard upon a granddad's knee is remembered for a lifetime, for those stories are always the best and the most fascinating. and the story of Brač runs as follows. The Industrial Revolution in the Postira way began the moment when a Mr. Verhanek, a gentleman in the Viennese manner, first stepped onto the rocky shore of Brač. A stiff collar and a top hat in the latest of fashions did not prevent him from building a fish processing factory in the midst of the Brač Machia. And so, back in 1907, the housewives from the northern slopes of the island became factory workers, while the scattered and more than slightly aggrieved fishermen fished for a known buyer. Fortune seemed to have fallen from the sky. There was not much more that one could ask for from Providence. Sailors and masters, caulkers and rope makers, painters and tailors, they all came into their own. Not even the working hours, from dusk to dusk, made them back away. Using the machinery that museums of today would be proud of, the factory produced small quantities of good quality. It refused to adopt the habit of similar plants along the Adriatic shores. A grand opening ceremony, and the still faster closing down, shrouded in the bitterness of defeat. Cutting furrows through the Adriatic, using wind, sails and youth, not giving up, they weathered, owing to the quality of what was produced and offered, both world wars. And in the late 40s of the last century, the Postirans were back. Thousands of tons of Adriatic oily fish were enjoyed in every, even the remotest corner of the world. In a cycle renewed every day, they sailed, fished and farmed. Small manufacturing was blown away by mighty machines. The small fishing boats were replaced by a proper fleet, while the fishermen of Postira, whose faces bear the signatures of the Bora and Southerly, turned into men whose own shirts became too tight for them. The boundaries have no end. Here, people both work and build. A huge step had to be taken to walk through the same door and enter a new factory, and with it an undreamt of takeoff. Here they seem to leap across centuries with the ease of an athletics champion. The giant of Postira is the largest fish processing plant, not only in the Adriatic, but also in Eastern Europe. State-of-the-art machinery, which is housed in a space of 12,250 square meters, is a source of pride and love for both the hardened fishermen of Brač and the heart of a woman, which in these parts beats faster. Here, no dream is dreamt in vain.